I just hit start recording because we don't dick around here. I like the let's go.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Joe Rogan does it. Are we on? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes, we are.
And that's why I kind of like to do things. I do these shows kind of long just because they usually get goofier.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Totally.
But really, like almost every time 3 or 4 songs get cut, the copyright police.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another reason to do them long. I do want to start cutting these shows up and make them just really short little segments.
Right.
Because nobody's watching anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's what we got.
I love it.
We are recording. This is Austin. We met working at a record store in Fort Collins back in about 91,
Yes.
90?
Yeah.
Maybe even earlier than that,
Well,
89, 88?
Almost. It was summer of 90.
Okay.
Yeah, because I started working at Hastings the summer after my freshman year at CSU, which I started in the fall of 89. And so it would have been the summer of 90. When I first started there.
I think I started in 87 or 88.
Is
maybe
that right?
88.
Yeah.
I was, getting on for the Christmas crew.
Oh,
and stayed on
absolutely.
for years.
So, yeah, the funny thing about that, man, I don't know, you and I ever talked about this, but, Phil, the manager at the store.
That was awesome.
Phil was awesome. I met Phil when I was like, I used to go into Hastings all the time because I was such a music junkie, right? And buy cassettes and whatever. And I ran into Phil when I was, 17. And I told him I want to work at your store someday.
Cool.
And so I came back, that summer of 90, and he was like, there you are. And I started within a few weeks, so
Nice.
it was funny. Yeah.
Well, it's funny how, I re-met Austin here from, he came in to do some voiceovers.
Yeah.
As you can tell, he's got that radio voice.
Radio voice, yes.
So he's done some commercials and books and a few things. He's going to be doing another book.
Yeah.
So that's why he's hanging out here again, getting started on a new book.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it another poetry kind of thing?
Not really. He told me, he's given me a little bit of a synopsis on it, but it's more of, I think it's going to have broader appeal, frankly, because as you know, the last one was more like kind of meditative poetry.
Yeah.
This one is more, it's going to have a lighter tone, but he always writes, Joseph always writes with kind of a spiritual aspect to his writing, which I think is really interesting. But this is going to be broader, and it's going to have, he's weaving a little bit of comedy into it. So I'm anxious to read it.
Good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It seemed like he had a little bit of comedy.
Oh, yeah. He's a good dude. Yeah.
That was always fun sessions. I can't wait to finish up this new stuff. Well, hell, we better put some music on.
Oh, come on, baby. Yeah, let's see it.
When you first started Hastings, what were the bands you were into?
Oh, my God. Well,
I think that's why you got hired, because you were the different guy. You're not going to only like metal or only like...
You made me right, my man. Oh, that is so funny. Oh, Jamie, yeah, it's so well. My first band that I fell in love with was Rush.
Nice.
And so that Phil and I had that in common because he loved Rush, right?
Fanatic.
And I think like a lot of guys my age, I found Rush when Moving Pictures broke.
Yeah, that was
right.
About right.
Yeah, and I mean, I was, it's
if 2112 didn't get you by accident.
Yeah,
because that wasn't really on the radio.
That's exactly right. I think like a lot of young guys, especially when you listen to Tom Sawyer on the radio, it didn't sound like anything else, and I was like, what on earth am I listening to? Mm-hmm. And I still have friends of mine that aren't into music like you and I are, but some of their memories of like coming to my house are me forcing them to listen to Moving Pictures, because I was like, you've got to listen to this album. Do you
happen to remember this one? I think I'm going bald.
Yes, Lakeside Park.
They never played that song live once.
No.
But I played that yesterday on the show.
Oh, did you really? Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, so
Bastille Day was my favorite song on that. On that, probably.
Yeah, love it.
Other than, I think I'm going bald.
Yeah.
Want to play a Rush song?
Come on, man. Yeah.
Should we just do Tom Sawyer or
do
something
it.
else?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
At Le Studio.
Yeah.
Upbeat rock music. Man, one important memory for me was it was right after my mom and dad got divorced, and I went to Burlington, Iowa, where my dad went, and we went somewhere, and they had Space Invaders.
Yeah.
And a jukebox.
Come on.
And got to hear some Rush. While this song, while playing Space Invaders.
Oh, it doesn't get any better.
And my dad even mentioned it. He's like, this is a cool song.
Yeah.
And going that area in Illinois was Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn area where I grew up. For sure, all that stuff was. I mean, where that fence is less than an hour away from where I live.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I saw all that stuff. That was a big deal.
Gosh. Yeah.
All that Mark Twain shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, just this song, and I mean, even for someone that at that age, you know, I was singing in like youth choirs and whatnot, and I didn't have a real sophisticated knowledge of music. But immediately with a band like Rush, you just know, even if you don't know anything, you know they're talented.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, if you don't know anything, and that's just what hooked me with them. Just amazing.
Today's Tom Sawyer, he gets high on you, and the space he invades, he gets by on you.
Getty and the keyboards, man. Amazing.
Boy, I don't even remember where I was when I heard this. I think it's a pizza place.
Yeah.
But there's always a few things. Music was always my big deal, and
Yeah.
there was always a few deals that stood out. Like with my dad, he was very critical,
Ah.
like I am.
Well, you got opinions.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah. But like I recently came across the B-52's performance of Rock Lobster in like 1978
Right.
on Saturday Night Live, and I remember watching that with my dad, and he's just, you like this? And I was nervous about it. Like, well, it's sort of cool, you know, but it's not Ted Nugent and Van Halen.
Oh my God. You know, it's funny watching this video and kind of growing up with Rush and appreciating them. I always felt like Alex Lifeson was the underrated player of the three.
Yeah.
It didn't get enough credit.
He didn't.
And it's so funny, knowing that I would see you today, I just happened to be kind of just looking through some Rush stuff. And I feel like Alex is finally getting his due with like the documentary that was done years ago. And a lot of players like Kirk Hammett of Metallica talking about what an influence he was. And I mean, you listen to this solo and like Limelight, man, he was a hell of a player.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you read Getty's book?
No, gosh dang it, I've got to though.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sad Holocaust
heavy.
shit with his mom and grandma and all
Yeah.
that. But super fun and funny. And
Yeah. Yeah, it's on my list.
Out in the snow.
Yeah. You know, it's incredible just listening to that song. I mean, their lyrics spoke to me as a young man, and they still speak to me now. You know, I mean, I think that's one of the things that always pulls me back to Rush is the writing of Neil Peart and those lyrics. And just, frankly, when you listen to that band, you can just tell they're committed to greatness. You know, they want to make something great. I still, that's probably the band that I listen to still regularly more than anybody else.
What's this one? Recorded at the same studio.
Oh, no
up
kidding.
in Canada.
April Wine.
See?
Amazing. Oh, this is awesome, Jamie. I haven't seen this. This is great.
And the studio went to hell. It went abandoned. And
Yes.
got windows broken out, rain, and it's destroyed now. But Shit, I bet Triumph spent time here. I bet
Some great bands.
I like how Miles the singer, well, all right. He's just very, it's easy.
Yeah. Yep.
This version of April Wine kicks so much ass. 3 guitars.
Yes.
Really, it's the stuff I always go back to, the hard rock, the pre-metal.
Yes. But you still have the great harmonies and
You're not offending your passenger in the car as much. That singer's dead now, so they're still touring as a bunch of it's a cover band.
is it? Okay.
But man, they were good. I only got to see them once, but
really, where'd you see them?
a stupid place that for them. The country bar up there on I-25.
Oh, the Grizzly Rose.
Grizzly Rose.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was an odd place for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was the same show. It might have been them with Winger.
Well, maybe.
I saw Cheap Trick there another time years ago, back in the 90s.
No kidding.
When they were kind of their down.
Yeah.
But it was great, of
Oh,
course.
yeah. They're unbelievable.
But yeah, these guys were great. Been around for so many years, since the early 70s or late 60s.
Well, I mean, I guess, I don't know a lot about these guys. I know some of their songs, but I mean, are they Canadian as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Incredible.
And again, playing it live. I mean, they could do some fixins if they needed, but all these cool albums were fucking rehearsed to the death and played over and over.
So they could record it live.
Yeah.
Well, you literally read my mind. I mean, I was going to ask you, is that what I'm watching here? Because with your recording background, I mean, they're just cutting this live.
Right. I mean, this might have been recording the scratch tracks and things, and
Right.
some of them aren't on it, but could be.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just pantomiming into it, but shit.
Still.
Seems like they got all the mics set up correct and everything.
Yeah.
And they're letting it bleed right into the room because they know they're going to take it until it's right. It doesn't matter if the guitar amp goes into the drums.
Wow. Amazing.
The Knack, My Sharona is one. Maybe we should play.
Yes.
Because that documentary about them, it comes up on YouTube every once in a while.
Okay.
And then it gets taken down. But if you can find that, it's called The Knack. Well, The Knack and other some. Let's see, what is it called? Oh, the little Beatles tribute.
Nice.
But there's a Knack documentary that came out quite a while ago. It's really good, and it shows them in the studio recording, and maybe it's in their video of it, but it's a live take, and that's a hell of a performance.
Wow.
My Sharona.
Love that song.
It was great. I remember, of course, at the time, it was popular for so long
Yes.
that and I'd read magazines like when Dawkins first came out. His first interview was, "We finally got signed. They pushed us back about 4 years because of fucking the Knack." And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
But it was one of the first times I started thinking about that as a little kid. How the industry works.
Yeah. The Knack.
Good Girls Don't was one of my favorites from that album.
Yeah.
It was a little naughty.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
Love some April. What else you've been listening to anything recently you like?
Yeah, you know what, man? It's funny. So you go from Rush and April Wine, and man, I've just been hooked on things like Dream Pop and stuff like that. And so, this band that I found, oh gosh, let me find it, JB. The song is called Words, not Missing Persons.
Right, which I love.
Which is awesome in itself.
That Missing Persons tribute band here in town's really good.
Are they?
They're real good. I've seen
my
them like
gosh.
5 times. I keep going back. I like them a lot.
But yeah, I'll find that. I just started listening to this, and I mean, frankly, just discovering new music like on Spotify, and just letting it make recommendations based on things that I'll plug in there.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, and so yeah, this song there it is. It's called Bayon, Bayonne, and the song is called Words.
All right. First time hearing it. That's always fun.
And I don't know how you are, but when a song gets in my blood, like this one has, I will put it on repeat, and I will listen to it. I won't even listen to the rest of the album yet, because this song like takes me somewhere. You know what I mean? And I just keep listening to it.
Weird family video VHS tapes. From,
Yeah. Well, it's, you know,
found footage. There's a lot of cool found footage.
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, and this song to me has such a melancholy to it. So it doesn't surprise me they did something like this, because it this song just kind of reminds me of the kind of the passing of time, you know, and you know, it just hits me in the heart.
I was just trying to imagine the song, you know, how he wrote it. You know, if he was sitting there with an acoustic guitar to what it became with,
Yes.
you know, 100 vocals all and big reverbs
Yeah.
and
I know. Yeah, I mean, you're right on. Yeah, and I know that's something that you have forgotten about, you know, more about than I'll ever know, but just how you start off with the idea of a song, and then you get a producer involved, an engineer, and then where you just take it, you know?
Yeah.
It's amazing to me, you know?
it was always fun getting the guitar player to try something over the top of something he's already done, you know,
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah. I watched this, and I've never seen this video. I just started listening to this song 2 days ago. But I'm sitting here watching this video thinking about our own son that's a drummer, and how quickly that time goes by. I mean, he's already a freshman at CU. He's
Wow.
a jazz drummer at CU.
Damn.
But I look at this and I'm like, oh yeah, where did those days go? They just, you know?
I don't know where this would classify, but that there's a certain bunch of music that has this reverb-soaked stuff, and it doesn't sound that modern. It sounds more of like the indie stuff from the 90s, probably.
Yes.
Just like the VHS here from the 90s.
Yep. Well, it's funny you say that. What little I have found on these guys is talking about kind of like a basis in indie But then you're right. Then they take it electronic.
Now that we're seeing them, two dudes, it looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about them, but remember that band Air?
Yes.
The Virgin Suicides?
Yes.
That was a killer soundtrack.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of lushness to that.
It's almost like cinematic.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just such a big sound. It's just amazing.
That kid was on drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
In 1984.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
You remember Whale? You hobo humping slow bow babe. Played that yesterday.
Oh, did you really?
Otherwise, we'd play it now.
Oh my God, amazing! I see you got Prince on the screen there.
Yeah, that one got cut.
Oh, did
we
it?
We did Bat Dance, but they made
gotcha.
me pull it.
Oh, yeah. You know, anytime I see Prince now, I think of that performance with Tom Petty.
Yes, I know, I do too. Because that's the one to beat. Man, that was good.
God. Just, you know, it was a tribute to George Harrison, right? Because his son was on the stage as Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's right. And I mean, that guitar solo.
I couldn't remember where that was from.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Unreal.
It was good.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Amazing.
Let's see. So when you first started, we went through grunge together.
Yes, we did. Yeah, well, and it's funny. I mean, as you were kind of telling me as we were watching April Wine, and you were talking about how they would just rehearse it and rehearse it and rehearse it before they recorded it. It's funny. The first thing that popped in my mind was the stories that Butch Vig used to tell about when he met the guys in Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
And that when he first heard Smells Like Teen Spirit for the first time, Dave Grohl and those guys, they'd been recording that thing for like 6 months.
Uh-huh.
And he said Butch Vig said they were so tight, he couldn't believe it.
Uh-huh.
But to your point, they were just rehearsing that thing over and over again. But now his job was to make it larger than life.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what he did with the recordings. But
yeah, the band's got to be great to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, exactly right.
I know, yeah. They played live forever, so that was... Nirvana were great.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I mean, you talk about that transition that, you know, we all saw happen when we were at Hastings. You know, for me, what I thought, Jamie, you know, was the beginning of the end. You know, I hate to say this, but the album Cherry Pie by Warrant.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I feel like
so dumb.
Totally, man. I was like, I felt like we were playing that in the store, and I was like, I feel like we're at the end of something here, but I don't know what's next.
Yeah.
But this is over, you know.
I remember the first time they played Smells Like Teen Spirit on the radio on KBPI.
Yeah.
I was driving, and Uncle Nasty was on. He said, everybody's talking about this. This is some new thing. Well, we're going to play it for the first time. You know, it was like that, you know. And it's like, oh shit! And I wrote it down.
Yeah.
And I was working at the record store, and you know, it wasn't out yet, obviously, or something. I don't remember. I think we'd heard some of the singles, you know, like maybe Sliver, because we occasionally get those bootlegs or something, or the singles. But yeah, when that came out, it was a big deal. I remember. Yeah, I had to have that right away.
Did you have there ever been, and maybe Smells Like Teen Spirit is one for you, but I was thinking, has there ever been like a song or an album that you heard for the first time that you just instinctively thought, this is great, and then all these years later it is still great and is still maybe recognized for being a classic album? Is there an album like that you kind of resonates with you? That
Van Halen one or something, you know. There's
a
million of them there's a million of them.
Yeah.
All the ones that are so intentionally everyone knows is great.
Right.
You know, Boston's first album.
Right.
Of course, you know, that's...
But maybe, was there one that was new to you? Maybe a band that you didn't know that well or were just getting into?
Well, I'm trying to think of this, how you're thinking about it. Because they were all new at one point.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
Well, I'll give you an example. Maybe this will, like for me, the album that I think of that just blew my mind, like the first time I heard it, and I just realized it was great, was Disintegration by The Cure.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a departure for me,
Uh-huh.
because, I had listened to Rush and more like straight ahead rock. I mean, Rush was really as far as I got into any kind of prog or prog metal. But when this album came out, which was fall of my freshman year at CSU, I had started to get familiar with The Cure because of Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, the album that came out before this. And you'll love this story. So when I was in high school, whenever I'd see a kid with a Cure t-shirt on, inevitably it was some weirdo, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so I was like, I don't know. This probably isn't my cup of tea, right? Well, I ended up dating this girl, and she was huge into The Cure. And so, long story short, one night we're in front of her house making out, and we're making out to Just Like Heaven.
Nice.
And I remember I'd listened to The Cure like 5 seconds to that point. And Jamie, I remember driving back to my house going, The Cure is a pretty good band.
That's a life changer.
And I've been hooked ever since. So if like Rush is my number one, these guys are my number two. And took my daughter to see these guys at Fiddler's 2 years ago.
Nice.
And they were unbelievable. I mean, Robert Smith sounds just unbelievable.
I never got to see him.
Oh, fabulous. Yeah.
Back when we worked at the record store, Lindsay would have been. Was she there? Yeah, she was there when you were there.
Oh, she totally was. Yeah. That's
I
funny.
still see her on Facebook, but yeah, this would have been maybe her favorite band.
Oh, yeah.
Up there.
Yeah. Poor old Thompson, the guitarist, he's changed his name to Pearl. But the lead guitarist, that guy right there, when Robert Plant and Jimmy Page did that project together,
Oh, yeah.
they asked him to play guitar.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
yeah. We met Page and Plant.
Ooh, I'm
when
gonna
they
have
did
to
that.
listen to that again.
It just goes to show you how highly Jimmy Page thought of Pearl Thompson, is that he was the guitarist on that album, Yeah.
I went and saw that Led Zeppelin movie at the IMAX.
Oh, how was that?
Super good.
I need to go see that.
Yeah, you really should.
Unbelievable. There's this great meme floating around right now, Jamie, talking about the difference between the music business in the 70s and 80s versus now. And it's got a picture of the guys at Led Zeppelin on a private jet that has a fireplace in the private jet. And it's got some dude in front of a computer trying to make $10. So the music business then versus today. And I was like, oh my God, there's probably a lot of truth to that.
I mean, these guys, I'm sure, didn't have much money yet, but they put everything in their budget into making this video, showing what they look like.
Yeah,
I'm sure the image of that, this is iconic right here.
Yes.
Is that Edward Scissorhands?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's funny, this album resonated with me so strongly. It was like the most beautiful album I'd ever heard. And yeah, it's The Cure, so it's dark and it's moody. But the first 4 songs in particular, and obviously this is the 4th track, are so stunning. And just the cohesiveness. I remember I was so blown away. I played this album, the first 4 songs, for my mom.
Nice.
And my mom was like a country fan, maybe Linda Ronstadt. But I was so blown away by this, I said, Mom, you got to listen to this.
Cool.
Because there's something about this that I just love.
Right.
And we were driving to Colorado Springs.
Right.
And I said, can I play this for you? And she's like, yeah. And I mean, she thought it was cool. It wasn't her cup of tea, but she still thought it was cool.
Well, it's been brought up most of these shows, I think. Mazzy Star is one for me that is something that, it's mostly kind of acoustically or mellow and a girl and a tambourine.
Yeah.
But it's just grabs me every time.
Oh, every time.
Love it.
Every time. What was it? One of the Red Hot Chili Peppers songs, Anthony Kiedis drops a line that talks about the voice of Mazzy.
Oh.
I forget which Red Hot Chili Peppers song that is, but he name drops that song.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's Oh God, yeah. I mean, that song is just haunting, But
Voices Carry chick here.
yeah, oh yeah,
Amy Mann, she had a good solo album.
yeah, she did. Yeah, Till Tuesday. That was an album I bought at Hastings.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
Voices Carry. Loved that single.
I remember they played that on KVPI on, like something like 8 at 8 or some new thing.
Yeah.
Where they played newer stuff. And it was like, is this rock? And,
Oh, cool.
Kind
Yeah.
of, they were talking.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It really they had a discussion, but then they ended up playing it quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was one of those crossovers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a great song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, fabulous. Fabulous song.
For some reason, it made me think of Quarter Flash, Harden My Heart.
Oh, yeah.
Another
oh
one.
Oh, my gosh, man.
Yeah, they snuck in maybe on the backside of somebody like, because of Pat Benatar, a little bit of ishness. But
Yeah.
The similar.
Yeah.
Except for they added a saxophone.
Yeah. Well, all right, so Quarter Flash, was that Patti Smith?
No, it was nobody, I don't think.
That was
It might have been another Canadian band, but it wasn't anybody like Patti Smith.
That was the lead vocalist?
No, I don't think
Okay.
so. I don't think it was anybody.
Okay. Got it.
What should we play, though?
Shoot, man.
Well, this was brought up the other day because I was talking about electronic music. I was talking about
Cars? Yeah, come on.
Gary Wright, which is cool as shit. His album has no guitars on it, but it's still a rock album.
But
still
this
cool.
song is awesome.
In the same way, this one, I don't even know what the drum machine is on this one. The Vox Humana setting on the keyboard.
Now, when I watch this, it takes me back to like when MTV was like right out of the box.
Yeah.
And I'd be down in the basement in the summertime trying to stay out of the heat. And it'd be this stuff and Missing Persons and, loved it.
I watched a great Missing Persons interview with Gail Bozio recently.
Oh, really?
Man, she talked about how they worked 16 hours a day, and just on promoting and sending demos to every college radio station.
Is that right?
And then they rehearse every night, like till 10 till 2 or something. And then the guitar player, Warren Cuberulo, and her and Terry all lived together.
Wow.
Shared one guitar, and it was just music.
Wow.
That's so cool, They're young and that's all they do.
Yeah.
And that's the way all those bands used to be.
Yes.
AC/DC, that's a fucking gang.
Oh. You are so right, man.
They were never apart other than nothing.
Oh, yeah, two brothers in the band that were tight.
I mean,
oh, my God. Yeah.
tour record, go, bar.
Yeah. When you think about, and that's something that they talk about in that Rush documentary, is that, some of the kind of third-party testimonials, if you will, people around the band that knew them, would talk about that era of music and how the bands would basically create the material on the road.
Yeah.
And then they'd get off the road, head into the studio, knock it out, and then back on the road.
Yeah.
And they would just say that would be unheard of now.
Right.
Right.
I mean, Kiss's first 3 albums were done in 2 years.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Van Halen, same way. They came off the road and they had less than a month to make the album and get back.
Yeah. For Van Halen too?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because they were blowing up.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
they'd already been on the road with, they started with Journey and Montrose.
Right. Yeah.
And then they started to get bigger.
Start to steal the show a little bit, probably.
And then they started selling more tickets than Journey.
Yeah.
More albums. Journey ended up selling more probably in the long run.
Yeah.
But, on that tour.
Yeah.
So then they jumped on with Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And toured for half a year or more, 8 months maybe.
Is that right?
Then they were headliners after that.
Unbelievable. New wave, man.
There's a lot lot of good new wave.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was great.
Yesterday I played, dude, an Alice Cooper new wave song called Clones. But there's another new wave song on that album. But I will play you. Because I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. From the Flush the Fashion album, Talk Talk.
Nice.
I remember being a little kid in 1980. I was 12. I walked into a record store. Back then it was, it was only records. And a lot of incense. And a really stoned guy behind the counter. and I saw this, and the guy behind the counter goes, dude, you gotta get that. And stuff. So I'm like, all right.
That's funny.
But I'd already had a couple Alice Cooper albums, but they weren't anything like this.
No. I've never heard this song.
Yeah, it's kind of good, but it's kind of not.
Well, look at him, man. He looks totally different.
Yeah, oh, I know. I was saying yesterday, he was kind of really drunk at this time, and they pretty much just propped him up, and he doesn't really remember making this album.
Is that right?
A bunch,
right. Yeah.
One of the best shows ever.
Yeah. Amazing. I figured out what that Red Hot Chili Pepper song is.
Yeah, should we do it?
Aeroplane.
Oh. Should we play it or something else?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do they spell it weird?
Yeah, AERO. And that's the album with Dave Navarro.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I didn't care that much for that. Will be interesting to hear again.
Yeah. But you were a Jane's Addiction
Love
fan.
Jane's Addiction.
So,
but I just didn't care.
Didn't dig it.
I just didn't feel like he was good enough.
Yeah.
He had not the right style.
Right. Well, I mean, they damn near had to break his arm to get him to join. That. He would agree with you. When they approached him, they needed a guitarist, and they were basically begging him to fill in, and he was like, "Man, I'm not a funk guitarist."
Right, he was more of a riffy guitar player. Yeah.
But so he really did him a solid by filling in. But yeah, even Dave Navarro was like, "This isn't me."
Right. I always kind of felt it was a bad influence on his playing.
Before I start to rust, before I start to decompose, looking in my rearview mirror.
So funny story.
Looking in my rearview
My dad, who was in the car business forever,
I can make it
worked
disappear.
with Dave Navarro's dad. And
I can make it disappear.
long story short, one time my dad and I were talking about music, and he goes, "Have you heard of Dave Navarro?" And I'm like, "Dave Navarro, the guitarist for the Chili Peppers?" He's like, "Yeah, I worked with his dad." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So I got free tickets to a show in Phoenix.
Wow.
Yeah, Dave was with the band. Yeah. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" That's his son. Yeah.
Sitting in my kitchen, hey girl, I'm turning into dust again. My melancholy baby
cool. This is
The star
All right.
as he must
Right there.
push her force inside of me.
There you go.
I'm overcoming gravity. I'm overcoming gravity.
first time I saw the Chili Peppers. They were opening for Oingo Boingo.
Oh, no way.
Red Rocks on Mother's Milk.
Oh my God. What did you think?
It was good.
Yeah.
And I saw him on that Blood Sugar Sex Magic a few times.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Lollapalooza or something, or KTCL, what are those, some of those big shows.
I took my cousin Shauna, who was several years younger than me when I was in college working with you. She was still at Pooter High School. And to your point, there was a show, you might have been there. It was Smashing Pumpkins, Pearl Jam, and Red Hot Chili Peppers at the Coliseum.
I was there, yeah.
I took Shauna, and the only reason my aunt and uncle would let me take Shauna is because it was me.
Nice, nice.
They trusted her older cousin Austin. You know, and that was a wild show, bro.
Speaking of trust.
Absolutely. I mean, that show got out of hand. There were dudes tearing up the safety rails.
Yes, they were throwing chairs and shit.
Yeah. Oh, it was crazy. At that point, I said, Shauna, I'm getting you out of here.
And that was early.
Yeah. We saw them.
Man, that was a good show.
Oh, God, it was awesome.
I love the
those-
Chili Peppers.
Oh.
I mean, I loved Smashing Pumpkins back then.
Yes.
Shit. Pearl Jam was great when they first came out.
Yeah.
I can't hardly stand them anymore.
No, I'm with you, bro.
I saw them the first time they played the Glenn Miller Ballroom, you know, in
Yeah.
Boulder. And I saw Pearl Jam, I mean, James' first time they played there,
Yeah.
too. Really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you with Pearl Jam. I mean, you know, I don't know. There was kind of like, I don't know. I wouldn't call it a rivalry, but there was almost, I think, this sense at the time, do you like Nirvana better or Pearl Jam? And I was like Nirvana all the way. I mean, Pearl Jam to me sounded a little bit derivative. It was like, okay, sounds like kind of a new version of 70s rock almost, you know?
And then, of course, before Pearl Jam was Mother Love Bone.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. And I remember you turned me on to this album.
Yeah, I was really into it at the time.
Yeah. And
He was the David Lee Roth of Seattle. He was funnier and good, but not a great singer. You know, kind of good.
yeah. Good enough, right?
Yeah. He just had the coolity. So he didn't have to.
San Francisco, where the flowers bloom in spring. I said I fade to winter.
I love their drummer.
With his eyes was a shining sea. I said he's half the shadow.
One of the guitar players had a side project, Love Battery, that played in Boulder. Just they stopped between shows and did a show. Only 5 people showed up. I was there, but it was great. But those guys that played, you know.
Well, God bless him. Yeah.
That's where my father
You're right about the drummer. I love drummers that are just a little bit behind the beat. Just that pocket is awesome.
Yeah, he had a good deal.
for my mommy's memory. I said that's all she wrote for. That's all she wrote for me.
So yeah, the 3 that came, 2 guitars and bass all went on to Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
I'm just a star dog, a champion. I'm a star dog, a champion.
Isn't it amazing how just that'll happen sometimes? Where just an area will just create this new movement.
Yeah.
You know, you think about like San Francisco in the 60s.
Yeah.
and Seattle in the 90s. It was just, how does that happen?
Yeah, I know. You wonder how much of it is. It does seem like Seattle was more grassroots and real than, sometimes like going conspiratorial, but like the gangster rap that gets popularized because it's making people that own private prisons more money.
Yeah.
That's that's why they put that more on MTV and things.
Right.
There are movements that was grassroots to an extent, but it was also pushed. Same with the San Francisco movement and all that. The LSD was given to them.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
and then they tried to ruin the anti-war movement by, with Marilyn Manson just basically an actor.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it is interesting. There's a lot of those California bands that all their parents were involved with MK Ultra and all that. They all worked at the military base right there. There's a few of these eras and little things that happen. But this is a short-lived one.
Yes. But, I mean, remarkable music.
I loved it. It was all based on hard rock.
Totally.
They loved Black Sabbath, and they even loved things like Cheap Trick. And but they played it heavier because they grew up with no sunshine and a lot of heroin.
No, yeah. Well said, Jamie. Well, I'm with you. I mean, you just think about the great albums of that era, and you think about like Alice in Chains.
Oh, that was funny. I'll mention it real fast. There was one scene. It said they were just in a bar, and it said Lane Staley on a poster in the background.
Oh,
and that was back.
Yeah.
Also pre-Alice in Chains.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, Soundgarden. I mean,
have you ever watched that movie called Hype, the documentary about the Seattle scene?
No.
I think it's on Amazon right now.
Okay. Watch it. All right, I will.
90% of the movie, or 80%, is in mono until it gets to Soundgarden live, and then it becomes stereo. The director, he just felt that was when everything got banged, and so that's when he made the movie. He did that in the movie intentionally. I thought that was an interesting thing. You feel it. You feel it.
Yeah.
Hype is great. I go back and watch it quite a bit. I saw it in the movie theater with some girl I just met at her. She was working at a record store.
Right.
It was right when I came up to Denver. I was working at the phone company. Let's see. Maybe we'll watch the soundtrack. Hype movie. Trailer. Damn it.
Well, it's funny. I mean, while you're looking for that, I'll tell you. So my memory of Soundgarden is that I graduated from CSU. Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Graduated from CSU in '94. My grandmother, who's now gone, working class, loved them dearly. Didn't have a lot of money, but she saved up enough money where she told me that, Austin, when you graduate from college, I'll take you anywhere in the country you want to go.
Wow.
Just the two of us. And I said, you know what? I want to go to New York. And so we went to New York, and that's when Black Hole Sun was breaking. And I remember listening to that on a radio station in New York, and the DJ just over the moon about the song. And I remember, you made it when a New York City radio station is... I mean,
they
just
hate everybody.
Exactly, is just over the moon for you, And I was like, yeah.
Black Hole Sun was good, but I loved him so much earlier.
Yes,
that,
like Bad Motorfinger and all that,
and even earlier than that, Loud Love and Hands All Over.
Yeah,
were the big ones from early on. So I liked them less by then. But
interesting.
But I did love them.
Yeah.
This is it's goofy. It's a lot of the smaller ones, Tad, and
oh yeah, Tad.
That's punk rock, and one day they just sort of started going. And that was grunge.
It's the most noisy.
It's dumb.
most
Oh,
absurd,
they talk about Mudhoney a bit. And this, what about
heaviest thing
Screaming Trees?
going.
Love Screaming Trees.
From its humble beginnings in the local garages and basements in the Pacific Northwest to its chart-topping debut on the worldwide scene, Hype chronicles what became known as the grunge phenomenon.
I think we all became aware that there was a certain regional sound developing. We just got a phone call at the studio one day from this guy, Kurt. He just came up, blew out 10 songs in 5 hours. We recorded them and mixed them in one afternoon, and blew me away.
Yeah, that Bleach album was done in a day.
Yeah, incredible.
Straight from its 1997 theatrical release, Hype describes how talent and the media frenzy sold the world on the Seattle sound.
I need to watch that
The
movie.
effect of this whole thing of like hyping
Yes.
a label or hyping a sound or hyping a place is it starts to take a lot of the attention away from the individual artists that are making music.
Every drop that's left in me, body a second skin, something I cannot wait for you.
That's really good.
And you start realizing, well, there's a whole lot of people out there making money by selling the idea of the Seattle scene or grunge or whatever.
Hype also features
that's where,
rare performances and
Stereo.
interviews with the Fastbacks, the Melvins, Mudhoney, the Posies, 7-Year Bitch, Seaweed, Super Suckers, Young Fresh Fellows, and many more.
First time I saw him was Bad Motorfinger. I don't remember where they opened.
Available
but I
now
think it
on
was
video
Jesus
cassette
Christ
from
Pose.
Republic
I
Pictures
just
from only
think- I
1998.
remember
Take the plunge
you
into
know when he was
grunge.
wearing the shirt with the 90 on it.
You
and
sing
the-
about dogs,
long shorts.
you sing about being sick, you got a shtick, it'll take you to the top.
They have some good quotes about, being dumb but not stupid.
Yeah. That's funny. That's amazing.
1997.
My gosh, man.
No, I never even remember hanging out with that girl again that I went out with. It was just us in the movie theater, nobody else in the whole fucking theater on opening night of Hype. Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Maybe there was one other person.
Awesome.
I don't remember
Who cares?
anything else
yourself.
about it.
Yeah.
She was a cool chick, though.
Oh, man, for sure.
She had dreads. What else should we listen to? You liked a lot of new wave shit.
Yeah. Well, I was just trying to... do a missing persons track?
I'd love to do that.
Come on, man. Because, when you talked about Warren Cucurullo, he ended up joining Duran Duran later.
Yes.
And Simon Le Bon of Duran Duran said that Warren was easily the best player in the band, and, because he's such a stud.
Yeah.
Such a stud.
I think we should go with words.
Come on, man.
I think this is live. They went into it's live in a studio.
Okay.
They went in for a TV show and they had to wait around and shit. They didn't get to go in and record it until like 3 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
There was other bands there. Everybody had to wait their turn. They're doing something where everybody gets to go record something.
Right.
I'd love to know more about it and if any other famous bands were on that.
Yeah.
But she was mentioning something about this in that interview, and I think it was it was one of those Professor of Rock interviews.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, they went in to do this. They're all tired and shit, but this is live. The audio is live.
Unbelievable.
And this became their music video, their first music video. So that is so
Is
cool.
that right?
And they play it, it's played so good.
So good.
Just a bunch of white and oversaturated light.
Yeah.
I can't tell who's most talented. Her, she's great. Probably Terry on drums.
Yeah.
Those harmonics are precise.
Yeah.
To play that, you'd sit here in the studio on the couch and play that 10 times. So, okay, I'll take that one. But no,
So
he
true.
did the best one ever.
He just drills it. Yeah.
And then the backing vocals. What the fuck? How are the backing vocals that good?
Good.
Live.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think there's something to be said for like the adrenaline that goes along with when you know you got to go in and just do it.
Yes, that was it.
You
that
know?
was it. They were dying here, and they did it.
Yeah.
Got into character.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's interesting too, because they were aware of everything. They were aware of Van Halen.
Yes.
They were aware of everything, but they went this way.
Yeah. Now, you would know this better than me, but correct me if I'm wrong. So the drummer played with Zappa,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Before Missing Person.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The Baby Snakes tour video is all him, and that's where he's most famous for a lot of cool shit.
Yeah. Incredible.
Adrian Belews on that tour too, on guitar.
Well, it's amazing. I mean, you look back now and you think about if you were asked to play with Frank Zappa and David Bowie, you were great. you were great.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys didn't suffer fools, either one of them. You were great. Yeah.
These guys hung out with Zappa when they got started. Warren and Terry were playing with Zappa, and she just hung out at the house all the time. And then they came in and they did a demo, I think 4 songs in a day at Frank Zappa's studio, and that's what got them going. They started sending those demos.
Is that right?
I always thought that's what I kind of was also going to get at was, they're so different than anything Frank Zappa would do. They're so commercial. They're so likable.
Yes.
Everything is hooky. Everything is...
Yeah.
But Frank Zappa everything was jagged and weird and...
Could play it on the radio.
I don't want you to like this. I'm gonna...
Yeah.
It's all good and stuff, and I loved it, especially for a few years when I was younger.
Amazing.
Tempo's perfect.
Yeah.
And they just complete energy. Nobody's thinking, okay, the song's about to end, let's play worse.
Yeah.
Everything is perfect.
Just tight. You're exactly right.
How are they going to end it? Are they going to fade it? It seems like they might. I can't remember. No? Oh, yeah.
Start to break it down.
Could have blew it. Anybody that wasn't pro could have blown it with that last thing.
Yeah. Amazing.
Super fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Unreal.
Well, damn. Should we do any more, or are we done? Let's see. It's about an hour. I know they'll cut some. And I know nobody watches the whole thing. Each show's been getting about 3 minutes watch. And
is that right?
People are probably jumping around here to here, see what funny things we say.
Oh, absolutely.
And
that's all right.
What songs we play, and then they're done.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that song. Done.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I almost want to play, but I might get pulled. Judas Priest, because when you first came back around and we started talking about that.
Love Priest. Yeah. Well, because it was funny when you were playing that Alice Cooper song. You know what popped into my head was that Turbo era Judas Priest that some people just hate,
but other people love. Yeah, I know.
And when you were playing that for me, I was like, "Oh my God, this has got to be like the same era of Turbo." I'm
gonna probably play something from that stupid Alice Cooper record quite often.
Oh, for sure.
Because more people need to know that Alice Cooper went through a weird phase.
Oh yeah, did he ever, man?
And then he went into the glam rock and stuff, but he Poison, and all that. I didn't care that much for most of that.
Yeah.
Some of the songs were good. I like the 70s, early 70s, spooky stuff. And School's Out, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
We're talking about that. I didn't look it up, but School's Out, was that like 1971 or something?
Yeah, yeah.
So everybody.
Oh, yeah.
It's an anthem for everybody every year.
Yeah, the rock era. I mean, for sure.
Should we do something?
Amen.
That was when we started. That was the conversation. You came in here and you said, "I remember, you know, back in the day, and you were into the Priest, and I thought it was a little too heavy.
Yeah, because
Painkiller, especially.
Painkiller, you just loved it, and I got to say, all credit to you.
And then you grew into it.
Oh my God! Now it is like one of my top albums. Yeah. I'm like, I listened to that intro for Painkiller. I'm like, Jamie was right, I was wrong, but at the time I was like, oh my God, because I was used to Judas Priest. I was, You Got Another Thing Coming.
Yeah.
Right, Heading Out to the Highway, stuff like that.
Right.
And then this album comes out.
That was vicious. It was.
I mean, it's. Even when you read like the critical reviews that recognize how great the album is, that's exactly how it's described, as like fast and mean, you know? And it is.
Well,
it's
they got the new drummer, Travis.
Yes. And they let him show off right out of the gate, you know?
It just destroyed him. Everybody was like, oh my God. I saw him on that tour with Test and that.
Yeah.
Somebody else. Sepultura, I think. You know. We shouldn't do this one because everybody listens to this and it's so popular, but
whatever.
This is the one that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I'd like to listen to that whole album again, at least skim it, jump to every track.
Well, I'm just these guys amaze me.
I wonder how hard they sat there and worked on get it just right, or if they're that good. How much can they play? Because I bet most of their albums were live up till this one.
Yeah,
they put a lot of work in the reduction, getting everything right.
Right.
So all these, so those are all variously overdubs.
Yeah. God, his vocal range is unbelievable, man.
Have you checked his book out?
No, but I'm going to.
You should.
I'm sure it's a trip.
There's a few parts that are pretty intense, you know, and truck stops and whacking each other off in the library or something.
Yes.
I can't remember what they did.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like Freddie Mercury, right?
No, I haven't read his details.
Yeah. What would you say? The colorful past. Yeah.
Yeah, because Judas Priest kind of invented metal in a lot of ways, and then they got crushed by so many of these other bands. Crushed. Metallica and everybody else. So they had to do something, and they did.
Yeah.
I don't know if this sold 1 million albums. I don't know. I don't know how many it sold. I don't know. It probably did pretty good. But I don't remember any other songs from this album.
Yeah. Well, you wonder if it's just something that's held up over time.
But it really did let everybody know this is metal and we are metal. Even though they claimed to be metal first in 1980. British Steel. Nice. Sweet.
See that? Yeah.
Oh, what's it say?
So it's sold over 2 million copies worldwide. In the United States, more than 500,000. So yeah, gold record. But now they've got it updated.
Yeah,
it's almost 10 million.
Yeah.
So it's platinum a few times over.
Nice.
Incredible.
Damn, that's just as metal as it gets.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, yeah, unbelievable, man. Well,
And on MTV's Top 20 Countdown, we have this, followed by Tiffany, Debbie Gibson. I don't remember what that year, but it would be that. You'd see things like that sometimes.
oh my God, you're so right. I mean, oh my God, dude. Oh. You know, Judas Priest finally clicked for me when I realized it's really heavy metal opera.
Yeah.
For me it is. You know, I mean, when you listen to Halford's lyrics and all the themes and good versus evil, that's when I was like, oh, I love it, you know?
And sometimes it's just about butt sex.
Yeah, exactly, that too. Yeah, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes more primal urges. Yeah.
Glenn Tipton got to do all the heavy, all the fast guitar.
Yeah.
I went to this with Kevin from Hastings. That's right.
Yes.
And I was headbanging hard and fell over standing on my chair and fell over the chair in front of us. Really drunk, I'm sure. And hit the top of that other chair, and it dug into my
into your
calf
shin?
here. There's a bump right there.
Yeah.
It tore me up, and that bump, I dented my bone that
Yes.
day. It hurt like hell.
Oh, I've got one of those. I've got the exact same injury from when I was riding BMX bikes back in the day. And, you know, they had the free wheel, right? And my foot slipped off the pedal, and the pedal just, wah!
Ah, yes.
Yeah, and just right back into my shin. Exactly what you're talking about. And I mean, Lord have mercy, I still have that.
Yeah.
I still have that scar. Yeah.
So yeah, totally forgot that. That was Judas Priest. Oh, it was Testament or Sepultura, Testament, Priest, or
Wow.
in some order, I think.
Yeah.
Or no, it wasn't. It was Megadeth. Shit.
Oh my gosh.
No, it wasn't Sepultura. The Sepultura was with Ozzy. It was Testament, Megadeth, Priest. Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?
It was good.
I bet it was.
I just couldn't put all of them together.
Yeah.
But
Oh my
yes.
gosh, man. Yeah. Is that the best show you think you've seen?
No.
So you have to name one. What
It was
would it be?
one of the best. It does stand out. Another comes to mind because it was in the same place.
Yeah.
McNichols. It was Pantera. Well, it was Soundgarden, Pantera, opening for, or I can't remember which one's first. I think it was Soundgarden, Pantera, and then Skid Row.
Oh man,
Skid Row was the headliners. I got caught in the mouth.
that's amazing.
And well, the best part of it, well, the whole show was great,
Yes.
but at the very end, they just did for the hell of it. They did old Aerosmith version, the Train Kept a Rolling.
Yes.
And everybody took turns singing. Phil was out there barking, but
Classic.
But there was a little bit of rivalry you could tell between fucking Sebastian and Chris Cornell. The way that, you know, we're both cockstud
Yes.
cool singers,
Yes.
and you know they're both they're getting
Yeah.
higher and higher and going off.
Wow.
Man, those guys on stage all together. They passed a joint. It was fucking cool.
Amazing. Well, you know, it's funny. So, my Skid Row story, if I had to name, I don't know if it'd be the number, it would easily be my top 2 shows I ever saw.
That wouldn't be my top show either, but
Yeah, up there is when Skid Row, before you saw them, they opened for Guns N' Roses.
Oh, nice.
At McNichols, and this was the Use Your Illusion
Yeah, I remember
tour,
that.
right? What was so
I don't know
cool?
why I didn't go.
Well,
probably because it was $20.
well, yeah. Well, I had a girlfriend buy me tickets, so she took me, and I was like, "You are a great girlfriend." There were horrible tickets, but it didn't matter. We were behind the stage.
Oh.
And I never will forget, Jamie, if you remember that era of rock, you remember all the delays because of all the drama with Guns N' Roses. That, Use Your Illusion, right?
Yeah.
They were playing Civil War on the radio forever before the album even came out, because, those guys were a mess at that time. Well, anyway, then Slave to the Grind by Skid Row released. And I remember reading at the time that they really benefited from the delay in that Guns N' Roses release because they had the rock market to themselves. There weren't any other huge releases.
Nice.
So long story short,
Slave to the Grind was good.
it was great. I mean, love that album. And I mean, so seeing them open for Guns N' Roses, they just killed it. But I never will forget, that was like the first time I ever saw a show where you could tell that the band was becoming aware that they were breaking. Because the place was going batshit crazy for them. I mean, Jay, I never will forget. And the look on Sebastian Bach's face that this fucking place is going ape shit. And it's and you could see they were looking at each other like,
yeah, like
we've made it, and I mean that was so cool. I mean it was just awesome.
Sweet. I'm sure I've seen that in the past too.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of these bands when they were pretty new.
Yeah. But that was cool. And Guns N' Roses was great, and of course they had the strippers and cages and all that kind of stuff, so but yeah, Skid Row, man, they were unreal.
Seems like we should play some old song though, one more.
Yeah, man.
And but it should be something mellow and new wavy.
Well, I got something that might be a curveball, maybe just to think about.
Oh, yeah.
So, the best show I ever saw.
Oh, right.
Okay. Radiohead at the Mercury Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Are you freaking kidding me? I got to see him at the Mercury Cafe.
On the first album?
Yes. Well, it was the Bends, actually.
Oh,
second. It was the second. So, the Bends had just come out. They go to the Mercury Cafe. I think they were opening for My Bloody Valentine, or My Bloody Valentine was opening for them. That was the show that all their gear got stolen. They've never been back to Denver.
I know. They did a show. They booked a show on April Fool's Day that I went to in Denver.
Oh, no.
Yeah, a bunch of people went to it, obviously.
Yeah.
The Gothic, I think it was.
Yeah.
No, or the Ogden.
Yeah.
They booked a show and they didn't show up.
And they didn't show.
Because of
that. Yeah, they had to use, as you know, the gear from the other band because all their stuff got stolen out of the parking lot.
Oh, that's a famous story, but I didn't know you got to be there.
I was front row, bro. I got there early, front row, and I knew I didn't know about the whole gear thing until after the fact. But I remember
they have got a lot of gear that they rely on.
Oh, a lot of gear. And they still came out and killed it. But I remember when Tom York took the stage, he looked even more sour than usual. And
yeah. How do you... Yeah, it's like a week on with the show, but my God, we're pissed off.
Yeah. But they killed it. I mean, it was... It was unbelievable.
Mercury Cafe is famous for a few things. They played the Misfits early on with Glenn Danzig, like Walk Among Us years.
Yeah.
And then they did a few cool things, like I got to see Helmet and Quicksand there.
Oh, wow.
And Local H there. It was really good.
How was Helmet?
Super good. Tight.
Oh, man. They just sound like it on their records.
Yeah, they sound exactly like the record.
Oh, my God.
Tough. Just, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but that song "Undone" by Helmet, that's a killer. Yeah.
Undone or unsung?
Unsung. Sorry. Undone. Unsung. That's right. Yeah, that's a great one.
I do like some Helmet. We played some Helmet before.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Oh yeah, are we gonna play one more?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
I wanted to play some Adam and the Ants so bad.
Well, do it.
But I got them pulled. I played Ant Music and King's the Wild Frontier, and they wouldn't take it.
Is that right?
So I'm just saying that so that if anybody accidentally watches this 2 seconds, they might go, I'll check that album from 1980 out.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, it's funny.
Oh, there's one. I bet AC/DC is so, big on, there's a few bands that cut their music.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I would bring up something from Highway to Hell.
Yeah.
Because that was just a big album that really lasted.
Yeah.
When it comes to party rock.
Oh, man, for sure. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're aware of Rick Beato, right?
Yeah, I like his shows a lot.
And Rick, one of his earlier episodes, he's so damn funny. He was trying to do a breakdown of a song by the Cars, and the Cars were just killing him on the rights. It wouldn't let him do it.
Okay.
And that's the first time. Rick seems like the nicest guy in the world. That's the first time I ever saw him frustrated on a show. Is he was like, "Look, you're the Cars, okay?" And I mean, the Cars are great. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's not like they're Led Zeppelin. And but they finally let him do one.
Nice. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna definitely look that up today.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear about it because I've looked up as much as I can on that stuff.
Yeah.
That was the early. Before, what's his name? Mutt Lange did it.
Yes.
It was Jeff Workman Engineering, who was local, and God damn it, Roy Thomas Baker, and did Queen albums. And that's how they kind of learned the vocal stacking.
Yeah.
But anyway, they went apeshit on those Cars albums. I heard like Best Friends Girl and things.
Yes.
It really doesn't sound like an assload of vocals. But some of those parts on that album, there were 72 vocals.
Is that right?
They did it like 6 times as a band in a certain way. And then they did it like 6 or 8 times another way, a little higher, a harmony of that. And then they mixed them all down and it just made it spread out and wide and perfect and different than anything anybody ever heard.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of effort for... It did it sold it on it, but little you hear.
Yeah.
Because I went back and listened to it after hearing that story. I think it was 72 tracks of vocals and some of these backing vocals on the Cars. And then that was one of the first albums to use all electronics drums, Syndromes.
Yeah.
And some of the parts I think were played just, okay, we're going to play just the kick.
Yeah.
We're just going to play this. Or I think it was definitely we don't add tom fills.
Right.
Until after the fact they were made up, and a lot of those drums had that.
Yes.
That was the first use of the Eventide harmonizer.
Is
the
that
big
right?
use on an album. It was slightly used on a few things, some early versions of it, but so I can't wait. I'll watch Rick Beato's got to talk about all that stuff in detail.
He finally was able to do a song. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Amazing. Incredible.
I'm hoping you can come up with some interesting song that I'm not familiar with.
Okay. Kind of in line with what we've been talking about, or
anything from any part of your world that you might have liked, and like I almost want to play a Bay City Rollers song.
Oh, really?
Just because it was one of the first songs I listened to very much.
Oh, man.
Just something that comes to mind.
Well, I'll tell you, okay. I know this song has been played a lot, but this is the only thing I can think of. The first song, and it goes just in line with what you were talking about from a production standpoint. The first song that I ever fell in love with that I could not get out of my head. I was in 6th grade-ish, like elementary school, and it was Photograph by Def Leppard.
Nice.
And I played that song on my cassette player. I mean, I could not, I just would repeat it because I'd never heard, it just was a new sound to me, you know?
And that's where they used the same, I've read about these vocal techniques.
Yeah.
They did it like crazy. All these backing vocals were...
This song is when I knew music was going to be a huge part of my life. I didn't want to go a day without hearing this song, you know? I mean, just incredible. Just that guitar sound.
Bring it up a little bit. Drowned us out a little bit, but I don't remember the video. A little bit. I forget a lot of stuff.
That's all right. Oh, my man.
You know, I like to sit around and listen to music and watch YouTube, and we always play YouTube Jukebox after every session.
Nice.
So, might as well tape it.
Absolutely.
And maybe people that need friends in Switzerland will watch.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Did you ever see Def Leppard?
Yes. Saw them,
The big one? And
the big one in the round.
I did too.
Yeah. That was crazy, man. It was like, I felt like I was going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
They were so big.
Uh-huh.
And
I went both nights in a row, and they did, Pour Some Sugar on Me. All those scenes are from that.
Oh, is that right?
And some of those other songs from that, the videos, I know they put that. Yeah, huge.
Oh, my God.
That was one, I think the first time that I remember, I've seen a band twice in a row.
Yeah.
So I remember watching them do the exact same stage moves and things. Everything is so choreographed.
Oh,
they're just used to doing the same thing, and
absolutely.
They'll stand in this light.
Yeah.
Local bands all the time. I don't know. Some of them aren't smart enough to do this. But if you're watching, especially if you're watching the opening band, and you see that the light on stage is shining down, and it's maybe a little bit over to their left or something of the guy up there. When you go up there, you grab that fucking microphone and you move it over there so you're in the light.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's little bitty things that people don't notice all the time.
Yeah.
I was always helping bands out with that when I did. Well, I do that here in the studio, of course, too. But live, I never did much live sound, but I did it for 2 years at a bar up in Johnstown.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's funny how people, some bands are notice everything, and everything means everything, and other people don't take advantage of little things they can do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm always to take advantage of anything cheap.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay, for the studio audience, this is something interesting that I remember. I was super into hi-fi stuff. You know, nice stereos.
Oh yeah.
And when CD players first came out, somebody came up with the idea of more expensive rubber feet.
Right.
Just like the turntables had them too. Better vibration dampening. And then somebody online came up with the idea of you get those gel packs that you freeze, and you make a pad of gel packs. You set your CD player on it, or your DVD player on it, and the DVDs were a little bit later. But it would soak up the vibrations that came through the whole the mechanical vibrations that go through any part of the system, and it would actually make it read more accurate and make your sound better.
Is that right?
So back in those days, for $1.39 worth of frozen gel packs. So
unbelievable.
That was one of the first times I really realized I'm like that too. I'm always doing. There's a mic stand in there with a 10-pound weight on it.
Yeah.
It's because it's better than spending $300 on a mic stand when I can throw weight on it.
Yeah, that's true.
So that my expensive mic doesn't get crushed when it falls over.
That's true. That's smart. Oh, my man.
Well, I guess we'll end it here.
Yeah,
and,
man, this has been great.
It's super fun.
Oh, it's awesome, Jamie. Thank you, man.
We will get back to your book and
get that rolling. Yeah.
And maybe you can, if you want to do this again, you can anytime.
For sure. You kidding me? This is a blast.
Yeah.
I talk music with you all the time.
Rock and roll.
Awesome, man.
Might as well let other people in on what I'm doing. So hopefully someone catches on in Iceland. They got cold toes. Okay.
My man.
I'm going to hit stop recording just the same way I hit start, just randomly.
Yeah. I love it. That's funny.
Oh, I forgot. It's got the warning. It says, "Are you sure you want to stop recording?"
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.